Hello, everybody. Welcome to Expression Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and Latte Excited Eddie. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. It's a late night one. This episode.
It's late, all right. It's actually not as late as it normally is when we record one of these things, though. So
yeah,
it's usually about 2 a.m. and it's only 12:30. So
yeah. Well, everybody, as you can see, we're talking about Xbox future, or kind of Microsoft future. They made some announcements about what they kind of are rolling out. So we know that we're getting another console for them. We are getting the ROG Ally Xbox, or the RAT. Is it the ROG Ally X?
I don't know how you can't remember this name, Ed. It's called the ROG Xbox Ally X. Rolls right off the tongue. I know. I'm seriously just messing with you. That's such an annoying name to try to remember.
Yes. And then they're also doing a kind of headset with Facebook for Meta. Of course, they're still going to be bringing games out to PlayStation, Nintendo, and the PC. So Xbox kind of have a vision of where their gaming is going in the future. But Corey, you had thoughts about this, so I'm gonna hand this over to you so we can hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, we've kind of talked about it on various shows to an extent. We definitely talked a lot about it on Xbox Casuals, but I think the reason why people have been so, we'll say, interested for just to be nice about what Xbox is doing is because they haven't communicated about what they're doing until very, very recently, right? Like they've been quiet, especially since the business update, like a year and a half ago at this point, right? Like, Xbox has been thriving off of their executives being the personality of Xbox, essentially, right? Like,
yes,
Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, specifically. Aaron Greenberg's out there. I think people have heard my various takes on his ability to do a good job marketing something, but that's not part of this conversation. I think that Xbox has been confusing a lot of consumers, whether you're an Xbox fan or not, on what exactly they're doing. And then people start making assumptions about what they're doing that may or may not always be true. And it's just concerning the lack of communication from them over the last really decade, but really the last year and a half or so, right? Like, just rip the Band-Aid off. I think the problem is people just want to know what's going on, because I've had this question. I've pondered this question on various other shows, right? Like, did I invest in the wrong platform? Did I, should I be buying games on other platforms instead of Xbox? Because will my Xbox be around in 10 years? Will Xbox even be around in 10 years? Will it, will my games carry over to PC if they do go away? Would I even want to play on PC? Like, these are all like questions that you shouldn't have to answer, but people have been asking. And I know there's a small minority who like, oh, PlayStation's taking our games, or Xbox is giving PlayStation. I don't care about that, right? I don't care about them putting games on other platforms. I really don't. My issue is like, I just want to know if the games that I've purchased through the Xbox store from essentially the original Xbox on, right? I mean, I've been buying Xbox games for almost 25 years now at this point. It's, I mean, next year's literally their 25th anniversary, and I've I've owned every Xbox. So it's just, will my games carry over? And so recently they revealed the Xbox Ally, right? And the Xbox Ally X partnering with Asus and Republic of Gamers to create this handheld PC, which is going to be really expensive. I'm just preparing people now because it's a PC, right? It's a full on computer inside this thing that just happens to be optimized for gaming.
Yes.
And then very recently, at the time of this recording, about a week and a half ago, Sarah Bond Xbox released a video of Sarah Bond talking about their partnership with AMD, really trying to bring backwards compatibility to essentially the Windows platform, right? Your Xbox library to the Windows platform, and kind of unifying the Xbox and Xbox for PC, right? Or I think they're just calling it Xbox PC now. To, make that kind of one and the same, which is what I think they've been trying to do for a long time, right? They had that kind of weird Xbox app on Windows 11 that didn't really work, and they've revamped that a couple times, and then they've really revamped that app from what I've heard. I don't run Windows, so I don't know. I'm running on a Mac. But it really seems like they are focusing on the ecosystem and unifying their ecosystem, which is, kind of what they've been trying to do for a long time with Play Anywhere. And the only question really was backwards compatibility of like 360 and Xbox One, original Xbox games that weren't on the platform yet, weren't on PC yet. There are some really heavy hitters from those generations that aren't on there. The Fable trilogy, Gears 2 and 3, and Judgment, Halo 5 I don't think is on PC. There's just a lot of games from those generations that aren't on PC. And the fact that they kind of eased everybody's pain of like, will they exist or not, really kind of solidified what I think is their plan and what they're going to do, right? They have Xbox console, Xbox PC, Xbox Cloud, and then Xbox on other platforms, on competing platforms like PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, probably, right? And Steam.
Yes.
Which will all be integrated. Like all of the PC stores will be integrated into the Xbox game tab now, right? Like they were showing off videos today of Spider-Man 2 on Steam launching through the Xbox app on PC, and it just boots up from your Xbox game dashboard, right? On your Xbox in the bottom corner, it'll have like the Xbox Series X or S logo, or your icons will have the 360 original Xbox icons on it if they're backwards compatible or whatever. This is just the next step of that, where the icon will have like the Steam logo at the bottom or the GOG logo at the bottom, right? That's where you bought it. That's where it's going to launch from the Xbox app, but you can, very clearly play it from here. And that's cool. And the ROG Ally, or the ROG Xbox Ally X, is going to have a dedicated Xbox button that boots the system into essentially a gaming only Xbox mode, where your whole library will boot up there from all your storefronts, but it turns off all of the Windows stuff, so you have better optimization for games, which is awesome, which is exactly what I want it to be. And yeah, it's going to be kind of annoying to go back and forth of like, I can't, I'll have to play this game through the cloud, or maybe I'll have to play this game not on handheld. It's funny. When we were recording Xbox Casuals the other day, or Tower Casuals the other day, the entirety of Destiny 2 was $20 on PC. And like, I really want one of these ROG Xbox Allies. And so I went ahead and bought the Steam version of Destiny, like all of Destiny, because then I can play it in handheld mode now whenever I get this thing. But I think Xbox's plan is clear now. Clearer than it's ever been, at least. If you're a Game Pass subscriber and you want an Xbox console, they're making a console, right? Whether Xbox is making it or Asus is making it with them or something, right? We won't know. I think we'll have a better idea of what's happening once these rumored layoffs happen, which will have probably already happened by the time you heard this. But you know, they're gonna have this ecosystem of console, PC, cloud, handheld that will all just operate under one ecosystem. It's just the device you're playing on, right? And I think that's been their goal the entire time. And I think they just never figured out how to unify it. And so honestly, I think to unify the ecosystem, you had to essentially kill and evolve the console platform to fit the Windows platform, if that makes sense.
Well, I don't think they had to kill it. I think.
Well, I mean, like console as we know it.
Oh yeah,
right. Not like actually kill it.
I think what ended up happening was that Play Anywhere initiative. That if you buy additional game or if you have Game Pass, you can play it on any platform. So now that they're doing a handheld, they're doing their next console, they're getting into the VR game. If you purchase those games, digitally, they're always going to be there because you're not only are you running the game on those running those games on different hardware, um, you don't have to worry about putting in a disc and or whatever. You have the game right in front of you. And this is at your library, and that's only for some of the Play Anywhere games for it. So I think Microsoft was just like, if we're going to have these multiple platforms for everybody to enjoy the software from our company, we need to showcase what we have planned and everything and talk about it for it. So that Play Anywhere is like their kind of like new logo, is kind of their policy that they're trying to go with, to have people be like, if you're coming to an Xbox, you got to have these things. But once you get those things, you can use it on any platform that deals with Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you even just look at their game showcase, when they started talking about the Play Anywhere, most of their ad stuff had that Play Anywhere initiative to let you know that you can play this anywhere as long as you are a Game Pass member, PC or regular or Ultimate, or if you buy your games, and there's going to be a check-in. They're going to realize, oh, you own this game digitally, so you're fine. Play it on this console or handheld if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I think what they're doing is, obviously it's very hard to do this, right? It's very complicated. It's very hard. And I think them kind of making a console and getting out of hardware at the same time is weird, right? Like,
yes,
I really think Microsoft will make an Xbox. I also think other companies will be making Xboxes. I think Asus is going to make an Xbox. But I think that Microsoft has always been a software company. They've never been known to be a hardware company, even though they do make hardware like the Surface tablets or the Surface line of PCs and laptops. But like a lot of time people buy like Dells or HPs or HPs or a Lenovo or something, like somebody else makes the hardware while they run the Microsoft software, right? That's and I think Game Pass, I think they see Game Pass and games the same way, right? I think they think that we'll make the software, we'll make sure the software is optimized, and we'll let others handle the hardware. And I also think this also potentially makes the next Xbox modular and the next Xbox upgradable without having to, because like, you know, if essentially if it's just like a PC running an Xbox overlay of a user interface, right? Like potentially it could just be like, oh, I need more RAM, so I'll just plug it in here, or I need a bigger hard drive. I can, any sort of hard drive, I can just plug it in here. And you know, I think that saves a lot of money on R&D. I think that saves a lot of money on, you know, potentially trying to find the right parts to put in this thing for Microsoft. Like this potentially saves them a lot of money, which will be good, because if they start not making hardware, then they're not going to make any money off of their storefront,
Right.
because they're going to be counting on Steam essentially and these other storefronts. It's going to be weird. I don't, the only issue I see with this is like from a business standpoint, how are you going to make money off of this, right? When you're relying on other PC storefronts.
So I think the money part is definitely coming from other partners. You know, putting their games on Sony and getting a profit from that. Putting their games on Nintendo and making a profit from that. Putting those games on Steam and getting whatever cut that they get. Um, you know, because like for uh for Microsoft, they're just like, we have different avenues for us to make money. Um, so let's go into those avenues, see what works and see what doesn't work, and everything. You know, because of the MetaQuest version of Xbox is successful, then you know that leads to more potential sales, a refresh or a remake of that system with something even more better, uh, maybe at a higher price. People will will pay that much, hopefully, um, so that they can play those latest games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still like a little hesitant to be excited about this, right? Because I do think it's the financial aspect also, right? Like okay, maybe the average for, maybe I'm just overthinking this like I do everything, but like, you know, I'm sure the average gamer will continue to buy an Xbox thinking that Xbox is still just Xbox, right? Because you know, only the, I always try to keep the general gamer in mind, right? And they'll just go on the Xbox store, right, from their console and buy, you know, whatever, GTA or Madden or Call of Duty or whatever other game might pique their interest that year and buy it, and they'll be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the it's the it's the people like us who have invested like hundreds of games over the past 20 years on this platform.
Yeah.
And you know, want to continue to invest in this platform because we enjoy the platform, right?
Yeah.
They've made such a great user experience on the Xbox, between like Xbox Live, well, Xbox, whatever they're calling it, Xbox Network now. Like the store is easy to navigate. I think the Xbox just works from a, I'm going to launch the game standpoint. I'm going to, you know, find the game I want to play. They have like their suggestions, at least in my case, work really well. It's just a nice, easy platform to use. And so they've built a lot of goodwill for me just from having a box that works, you know, and has a nice user interface and usability, right? Like it worries me that I'm as good of an experience as I've had on Xbox over the years. I've never had a good experience with Windows ever. Like, you know, I've had 2 gaming PCs built for me. They both died within a year for some reason, and people who built it refused to fix it. They, you know, I've just never had a good Windows experience. So, you know, it kind of worries me that integrating this into a platform that haven't had good experience with, that worries me. But also at the end of the day, I want to make sure that, or I think that Xbox wants to make sure that their customers they've always wanted to be where their customers are at, and they're clearly not on Xbox, right? I mean, PlayStation 5 is outselling it like 4-1 at this point. Their console sales go down double-digit percentage every quarter. It's, you know, and now that the console price has gone up, like, you know, you can buy a Switch 2 or a base PS5 digital for cheap, almost as cheap as an Xbox Series S at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I think the thing, and obviously subscriptions have stagnated. So I just hope that financially this is going to work out for them, and they're not going to rely on the other storefronts, because if they start relying on the other storefronts, I think you're going to see some of our favorite studios close down or merge with other studios, and there's going to be a lot of redundancies. And it does worry me that people are going to go to Steam to buy the next Assassin's Creed and not Xbox, right? For like the survivability of Xbox. So, and maybe they have a plan to transition to make it financially viable for them that way anyway. You know, so I don't know. I really enjoy the platform. I like the platform. I like their leadership's personalities. I don't know how great of, you know, we always said when they put out Game Pass, obviously they messed up so bad with the launch of the Xbox One that they had to change the rules of the game that they were playing to compete, right? And Game Pass changed the rules, and initially it was successful, but like, I think only the hardcore Xbox fans bought in. But you think about it, the average person who plays games buys like 6 or 7 games a generation. Like, those people aren't going to buy into Game Pass because they don't have time, or they're not interested, or they don't know about it, or they don't care about the games that are on it, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's stagnated. And they have just about as many Game Pass subscribers as Xboxes out there, right? Essentially, like, if you own an Xbox, you are most likely a Game Pass subscriber, or if you're on PC and you want to play Microsoft's games, you are probably subscribed to PC Game Pass, right?
Yes.
And that's a smart move as a consumer. But if you're not on Xbox or PC, they're going to get that $70 or $80 out of you on PlayStation, which is great until your storefront doesn't exist for people to buy games on the platform that you provide.
Yes. To me, it's kind of, are you guys trying to go to Xbox for third-party games, or are you trying to go to Xbox for first-party games? Because it seems that you're not trying to go to them for both. So what is it that some people may feel that they need to go to Xbox? Because, like, you can have the high-tech hardware out, and it doesn't matter if those games, even though those games may be there are still people who feel like they don't want to invest in Xbox at all for some unknown reason. Like,
yeah,
I haven't heard,
like, people say they don't want to invest in Xbox, but then you see, like, literally the last 3 quarters, Xbox has been the best selling publisher on PlayStation, right? So, like,
that's what I was gonna. thank you for saying that, because like even for I'm sorry I'm bringing Nintendo into this, like even with Mario Kart
Yes, on a
World.
Nintendo podcast, you are sorry you're talking about Nintendo.
No, for this, because of this discussion with Mario Kart World being $80, people still they complain and they brought it. You know, and people are
Mhm.
going to complain about Microsoft, yet you still going to invest in their games and stuff.
Mhm.
So Microsoft could get away from putting out all of this hardware, and it's going to be up to you if you don't feel like it's for you or it is for you, and you're going to upfront the money and stuff. You know, because like Microsoft, they they know that their software is what sells.
Mhm.
The hardware is there to play the software. If they can put software any other platform that sells games or that will run it, they're gonna do that. They're treating it
Mhm.
as a business.
Yep.
You know, and the subscription stuff, like we said, like I said, some people treat Xbox Game Pass as a demo station, and that's a $15 plus demo station if I ever seen. You know,
Sure, but also like it also like what if you like a game? Like a lot of the games I end up liking on Game Pass, I
mm-hmm.
end up buying, right? Because like like the perfect well, two perfect examples. Expedition 33 and the Plague Tale series are two games that I found through Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
which I had always heard about, but I didn't want to pay $60, right, to play them, you know. But like I played them on Game Pass and I loved them so much that I ended up just buying them, you know, like
Yes,
Expedition
which is
33. I went out and bought the digital version and the physical version and the monolith edition that they re-released, right? Like
which
that's
which Microsoft is hoping for, that people will go out and buy those games, because to them that's extra money for them,
mhm.
profit wise. You know, they probably get a bigger cut um compared to what the those publishers and developers would get, you
Mhm.
know, on a digital sale.
Yeah. So my thing is just I really hope this works out for them specifically because of just I like the Xbox platform and I don't want to see
Mhm.
these developers that make these great games, right? Like, you know, I don't want to see Ninja Theory go out of business or Obsidian get closed down or you know, because they decided to not support their store, you know? Like
Right.
I want them to, you know, I would almost I would almost hope that they would like if you're buying the console right version of whatever this ecosystem is, they would almost lock you out of buying things from the other stores, right? Almost like it is now, essentially. But I know they're not going to do that because they want you to have all your games everywhere, right? So it wouldn't make
Right.
sense from that perspective. Um,
and and with the looks of it, for the looks of it, it looks like Microsoft is going to digital only in the
oh
future.
yeah, dude. If there's a disc drive on that Xbox, I'm going to be shocked.
Because
Right?
I'm like,
I mean, they didn't even release. I think the only game they've released a physical version for PlayStation is Indiana Jones since they started doing this. I think that's the
yeah,
only physical edition, and that's probably a Disney thing. That's probably not an Xbox thing, right? Because Disney probably wants their games in a storefront, front
mm-hmm.
facing, right? So, um, yeah, I mean, that's my only thing. Is like, yeah, I would totally be shocked if they had anywhere close to a disk drive on that next console.
Yeah, because like, you know, with the 4K movies and stuff like that, that's just additional features that the system But if you're going for pure games, I think people are going to be like, well, since their next console, just speaking from console's viewpoint, since their next console is going to have the app for like Steam, you know, the indie games or whatever comes to Steam or the Steam sales might get applied to Xbox. And
Mm-hmm.
so those games may um sell and everything, but they may actually sell on Xbox than it does on the PC version. Even though with Steam, once you buy it, it's in your library, hopefully forever and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if people don't pay attention, they may get the Steam version of Gears of War instead of getting the console version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you still have to deal with um some of the craziness that happens on uh like digital games and stuff like that, or Steam, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I think theoretically, this is like in terms of unifying a platform, this is the best they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like instead of trying to support two platforms and two storefronts, two levels of optimization, like from a ecosystem and kind of consolidation standpoint, this makes absolute sense and something they probably should have done with the Xbox One. But from a financial standpoint, like I think you're going to lose a lot of sales on your own storefront, and I think a lot of people are going to get laid off because of this, and that scares not just me. I'm sure it scares a lot of people. So I just hope that this they figure it out and it works out.
Yeah. I think if I had to look at all three of them and like kind of rank them from most that would probably make the money to least, I think it would probably be their handheld, console, and then MetaQuest would be last.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how the VR is doing, especially like with Sony's PSVR, just like kind of disappearing. Nobody's really talking about that or looking at games for it. I just I just feel like from a business standpoint, they're hoping that people are still interested in getting the console, but if people move to the handheld, um, model, that it still generates business from it, in a
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Because of, like, once again, just even though you're getting this handheld, um, you know, playing these games, if you don't have I'm assuming it's that everything is running off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
For like the handheld, you know, um, you want to make sure that you have enough, um, you just have enough money to get all of that stuff because this stuff is not about to be cheap at all.
Mm-mm. No, that I mean, I would imagine the console would have to be cheaper just to get people in, but this
Mm-hmm.
handheld and whatever the next, you know, uh, whatever I don't know, their PC initiative is going to be, it's going to be expensive.
It's probably gonna be the same as PS5 Pro.
It's going to be more than that. The handheld.
No, I'm talking about the next console.
Oh, the next console. Yeah, I mean, the next console is going to be expensive too. So,
No, the handheld is probably gonna be like 600 plus.
I mean, the current ROG Ally with no Xbox branding on it is 900. So,
That's crazy.
I mean, it's a PC though. I mean, it's not crazy if you think about it from that perspective. But if you're going to try to sell this thing as an Xbox, you know, you probably need to I don't know. Figure it out. You gotta find a way to supplement this or whatever, because if you want this thing to sell as an Xbox, $900 is not the way to do it.
There's gonna have to be a loss on it.
Yeah.
And then like people will have to get out their feelings, and you're gonna have to support this thing. You're gonna have to support it with the games and stuff. But
yep.
I'm a Nintendo fan, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's on the one episode we talked about on POW Block, like porting games to Switch 2, right? Like, that's why I'm a big proponent of it, is because like if Xbox ends up going to like a PC only route, or like this handheld doesn't work out, or their things just doesn't work out, like, I better be investing in another platform that I enjoy playing. And that's not PC, and it's, prefer it not be PlayStation if I can help it. I don't hate PlayStation. I would rather invest in another platform that I enjoy playing on more.
Right. Like I invest in Nintendo, and I'll still continue to invest in Xbox. Because sometimes a lot of their games just like, to me personally, feel great playing on that console and everything. I'm not knocking PlayStation, and I'm not knocking Nintendo, but there are some multiplayer games that just feels good on Xbox. I do enjoy their first party game and stuff, and they offer, like I said, they offer me a different experience that I can't find on Nintendo and everything, and that's a good thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, well, Corey, I think we can wrap it up there.
Port everything to Switch.
Switch 2, that is, not regular Switch.
I mean, if they're indies, you can port them to Switch. They'll still work.
True. That is true.
But yeah, if you're going to make a Switch, you might as well make a Switch 2 version while you're at it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
So, but with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Next Special Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, Retro Stoy, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.